today we talk about my favorite topic in astrology, which is about past lives and present lives and what you have to develop in this life. Or if you do not believe in past lives, then you can take it what you come with naturally talented with in this life, what you're born naturally talented, or what you develop naturally in your early age, probably in the first 20 to 30 years in your life, versus what you have to develop later in life. And this is indicated, this most important indication in your horoscope. There is nothing more important in your horoscope than the position of Ketu and Rahu, or as they're known in Western astrology, South Node and North Node of the Moon. They're the reason the person incarnates back in the Earth, comes back to Earth to learn the lesson of these planets, or these points as we call them in astrology. So if you learn what you have to focus on this life, you will have it so much more clearer picture about your path in life and about what's good for you and what you have to let go of. And usually Ketu, or the South Node, will indicate what we were really good in past life with, what we focus in past life, where we feel confident. So usually these, the place where Ketu is placed in our horoscope will show us where we have more natural talent or skill, or where we feel more confident in or we're just better in the first part of life. And Rahu will show us what we have to develop in this life, what we haven't focused in past lives, or if you don't believe in past lives, in the early part of your life, and what you will develop later on in life, usually in the second part of life after 35, 40 onwards. So you have a bit of difficulties where Rahu is, in the areas of life where Rahu indicates, because Ketu, you also have some boredom in the house of where Ketu indicates, because it's something you've already learned how to use, learn how to be good at, so they're not easy positions, but they're very interesting because it will give you such depth of understanding about yourself. And what I want you to go is, I want you to go to my website astrology.com, go to my birth chart calculator, and I want you to, if you know your time of birth, enter it correctly, then you'll be able to see the house positions of Ketu and Rahu, or the South Node and the North Node. And if you don't know your time of birth, then just look at the sign position of Rahu and Ketu. The sign position will be given underneath on the table, where it will say Ketu is in Aries, or Ketu is in Libra, Rahu is always the opposite sign. They're always, the South Node is always opposite the North Node. Because if you have developed something in the past life, the opposite you haven't much developed, And when you get that chart, or if you're using Western chart to get this, but if you're using mine, this is what you're gonna get. For instance, you might get Ketu here, and Rahu will be here in the 10th, 4th sign, 10th sign. But I want you to take a look this time of the house position. You can have the houses are indicated with Roman numericals. So you can have it house 3 and house 4 in the 4th sign together. So basically Ketu will, if the sign is indicated by one of the squares, each square is one sign. And what the sign is, you can see from the table underneath. So you can see which sign Ketu is in, which sign Rahu is in, and you will see that there is also Roman numericals. There is the house cusps that are inside. It's a bit difficult, but I just want you to pay attention to these Roman numericals. So if you have Ketu with the 3rd and 4th house cups, you'll have Rahu with the 9th and 10th house cusp in the opposite. So I want you to listen the video for which says North Node in 10th house, or North Node in 9th house. Both of these videos, because I'll be indicating them by the position of the North Node, always Rahu in 10th house or Rahu in 9th house. And you will learn what your karmic duties are in this life, what you have to focus on in this life, what you have to learn to let go of, which is Ketu usually. It's really amazing. It's the best part of astrology. So what happens if you're born with the North Node Rahu in the sign of Scorpio, or with the South, which immediately will place the South Node, which is always opposite. They're always opposite in the sign of Taurus. And because Scorpio is the 8th sign in astrology and Taurus is the 2nd, it has exactly the same meaning, very similar, to having Rahu in the 8th house and Ketu in the second one. So North Node, it will be indicated like that in a Western type chart. The North Node in the 8th, the South Node in the second. Well, that's a very interesting position. We always start with the position of the South Node of Ketu. We chose what qualities we developed and what we focused on past lives. So in early childhood, if you don't believe in past lives, in the first part of life, in the first 20, 30 years of our life, what comes most naturally to you. And Taurus qualities, or second house qualities, is someone who is a provider, nurturer. Taurus is a sign which basically is really good with material things. So these people manage, the second house is your own finances, and Taurus is your own resources and finances. So these people from past lives, they were very self-sufficient financially on the material level. You know, they could take care of their daily affairs. They were very good family people and very good providers, these people as well. And often in this life, they have those qualities as well. You know, they do. They know how to be nurturing, how to take care of their family, how to take care of their own finances, how to manage their own resources and finances. They might not have much, but they'll always make ends meet. And my mom has this, and it's true. And and for them, they would, especially at the beginning in life, you know, the first part of life, material things will be quite a big importance to them. But these things will stop giving them the same kind of sense of security, because they think when they have material security that everything is okay in their life. And that's why Rahu in this, and it's not like that, you know, they're not stable. The Taurus is the sign of material stability, and they've learned to develop that, but they haven't learned to develop Scorpio, or the 8th house, which is the house of emotional stability. It's an emotional house. It's material stability versus emotional stability. So they haven't developed this fortitude of emotional strength that Scorpio people have, or Scorpio sign energy has, or if it's in the 8th house, this ability to feel secure within yourself no matter what happens, you know. What happens if you lose all your money? What happens if, you know, these people are very emotionally vulnerable. They haven't developed the emotional strength, you know. 8th house is emotional vulnerability. It's your emotional strength, but to get to this emotional strength, you have to go through emotional vulnerabilities, because Rahu shows where we have a lack, where what we haven't focused on in the past life. So you haven't focused on developing emotional strength. You have vulnerability. So these people, very often, however much they feel stable within themselves, life will throw them into some crisis situation or some emotional matter, and they will feel totally overwhelmed, and they'll feel totally stressed out and freaked out, and the way they usually tend to compensate is by behaving that, acting that it doesn't really bother them, it doesn't really hurt them. That's an extreme compensatory state, you know. They try to compensate, oh, I don't care, but within themselves they're falling apart often, you know. But they try and keep showing what they're used to, the stability of Taurus, everything is okay, I'll be okay. But no, they're not, they're falling apart inside. And life can throw them a few times into such crisis situations, so they develop the emotional strength, and so they stop being so vulnerable, and they stop being afraid of their vulnerabilities. And 8th house is also, if second house is your own finances, how you can manage them, and you've learned this well in a past life, and first part of life as well. 8th house is what others can help you, what others' resources, the money of other people. Not only the money, the emotional support from other people, the intimacy with other people. So these people with Rahu in the 8th or Rahu in Scorpio, they need to learn to open themselves to the resources of others. And I have a friend who does that. She's always so self-sufficient, but life just, and she never wants any money from someone. She just doesn't like receiving. She doesn't want to get from other people. She wants to be fully self-sufficient and self-dependent. But life just throws her into having to accept money from other people. She has to accept help from you know, from her sister because she's in a less stable situation, and it's painful for her. It's painful, but this way she learns to open herself to others. She learns to stop trying to hide her vulnerabilities, and to find emotional security, and to know that no matter what happens, she'll be okay. Somehow life will bring you people who will help you, will bring you circumstances that will help you, will bring to you other people's resources, whether emotional, financial, you know, intellectual resources and skills that you can utilize. You don't have to do everything alone, you know. It's about feeling secure, not only financially but emotionally, you know. And once you gain this emotional stability, your finances, your own personal finances will stabilize and they will get better. But you have to go first through this, to being open to other people's resources. But the funny thing is that these people have such difficulty trusting others. My mom has this position, as I said, and she's so sweet and nice to everyone, and then everyone loves her, and she says, oh, I don't trust anyone when we're alone. Oh. But she has such a great charm. I'm not saying these people are hypocritical in any way, but deep inside they have this trust that life or the universe will take care of them, or that other people, that they think others will take advantage of them. This 8th house is the house of paranoia and fears, and because of Rahu position there, they often might have fears which are not based on reality. Rahu just magnifies whatever it is, and usually it magnifies more negatively the first part of life because it's something we haven't developed. So these people, they haven't learned to trust others, they haven't learned to trust, to feel emotionally secure, as I said, and and often it can even delay pleasure of sexual enjoyment for these people. Can delay till they learn to open themselves for intimacy, because 8th house is the house of intimacy, and for sexual intimacy. How much can you merge with another? How much can you let another one's resources, skills, energy, physical body merge with yours and use it for mutual support, you know, and receive support from that. So that's what they have to learn in this life. And as I said, surviving in more critical situation. I'm not saying you'll be going through critical, crazy things happening to you, but learning to have this emotional stability and not only focusing that, thinking that having everything materially well, you'll be okay. No, you'll only be okay materially if you develop those emotional stability things. I think that's everything. Just remember, don't give in to your paranoias, because often those worries and fears you tend to have, they have no real basis in life.